Best chance of keeping the sunny skies, East Midlands, eastern parts of England, for example, and feeling pleasant enough with another mild day expected, 12 or 13 Celsius, and a southerly breeze. That breeze will pick up in the west with outbreaks of rain moving into western parts as we end Thursday afternoon. The weather front responsible, though, slow moving across the country, and it's only going to be Friday lunchtime, early afternoon before it clears the southeast. Sunnier skies returning elsewhere for the rest of Friday, but also with some showers. Saturday starts fine, but unsettled weather returns later.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Right, well, it looks like the Falklands are about to be invaded by Argentina. Not quite, but the Argentinians want heavy weaponry. We might be about to give it to them, and they certainly want the Falkland Islands. The iPaper is reporting that we are going to allow EU student exchange scheme to return, which is interesting because on the Daily Express, they're reporting that now Rachel Reeves wants to rejoin the customs union. So bad news for anyone who backs Brexit. Also, David Lammy wants to wipe the criminal records of young criminals, which is, well, I don't know, possibly not the best idea. All of that and more.
This is your chance to become our biggest cash prize winner to date. £85,000 in totally tax-free cash could be making its way from our bank account to yours. It would be like having over £7,000 per month extra to play with each month for a whole year. That could be you, safe in the knowledge that 2026 is on us. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome along to Patrick Christys Tonight, late edition, breaking right now. What could go wrong? Argentina is in talks to lift the weapons ban on their country, as Javier Milei is set to become the first leader to visit the UK since 1998. Oh, and by the way, he still wants the Falklands. So we could be in this farcical position where we sell them weapons and they use those weapons to invade us. And is David Lammy looking to wipe the criminal record of all young offenders? On the front of the Daily Telegraph there, someone made the point, of course, what Nigel Farage said at school: unpalatable, must be banned from office. Being a drug dealer in your teenage years, absolutely fine, come on down. Plus,
wild promises were made to the British people and not fulfilled. We're still dealing with the consequences today.
two big Brexit betrayal stories in tomorrow's press. Well, the Prime Minister is accused of handing the country back to Europe. Apparently, the Chancellor wants to rejoin the customs union. And we are going to have a return to the EU student scheme as well. So that's great. It's almost like we never left, isn't it? Plus,
we want safety, we want security, we want to make sure we're not letting the wrong people come into our country.
President Trump is promising to check the social media accounts of all visitors into the US. Apparently 5 years worth of social media posts there, so get deleting now, lads. And
deal for doctors, and it offers us the chance to end strikes before Christmas and start the new year on a new page.
Quite funny, this, actually. So the doctor strike might now not be happening, and one of the reasons it might not be happening is because Wes Streeting has told the British doctors that he'll stop giving their jobs to foreigners. So this incredibly woke set of junior doctors are now really happy that it's going to be basically British jobs for British workers, which, you know, they might have thought sounded a bit fash not that long ago. In other news, we're going to be talking to this lot. This lot. The Director of Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood, journalist and broadcaster Nina Mishkov, and comedian and GBNews contributor Steve N. Allen. And apparently, we discovered fire, didn't we? This is in the news as well. It's on one of the front pages. We discovered fire in Britain 350,000 years ago.
Before the French.
Before the French. That's the most important thing, before the French, because apparently the French thought that they invented fire, didn't they? Well, of course they did. Anyway, now it's the headlines with Aaron Armstrong.
Thanks, Patrick. Good evening to you. 3 minutes past 11 here in the GB newsroom. The United States says it has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. President Trump told reporters at the White House it's been done with good reason and more things are happening, without elaborating. It could mean an increase in American military operations in the Caribbean, where more than 15,000 troops and a range of aircraft carriers and amphibious assault vehicles have been deployed as the US continues to crack down on alleged drug traffickers. The Venezuelan government, which has yet to comment, has previously accused the US of trying to depose its president, Nicolas Maduro. European leaders have held a joint call with Donald Trump to discuss the US plan to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. The Prime Minister, along with the French President and German Chancellor, spoke to the US President. They've said intensive work on a deal will continue this week. They, along with President Zelensky and other leaders of the Coalition of the Willing, will speak again tomorrow as the US tries to push through a peace deal, which critics say favours Russia. It comes a day after Mr. Trump called European leaders weak and hinted the US could scale back support for Ukraine. The Doctors' Union, the BMA, has agreed to consult its members over a fresh government offer aimed at resolving the long-running dispute over pay and working conditions. If union members support it, the 5 days of industrial action due to begin on the 17th of December could be called off. The BMA say they'll make an announcement on Monday. The NHS has warned a strike would cause mayhem amid a serious flu outbreak. The offer addresses concerns over training places and expenses, but does not include any promises of extra pay.
If they vote, as doctors vote to end next week's strikes, we will move forward with that immediately in the new year. We can draw a line under the strikes, we can end the disruption, we can rebuild our relationship with doctors as we rebuild the NHS.
European countries, including the UK, have agreed to take a new approach to the continent's human rights treaty in an effort to tackle illegal migration. Ministers of the 46 member states will now work towards adopting a political declaration at a summit next May, which will make it easier to deport illegal migrants. It comes after Sir Keir Starmer called for changes to how the ECHR works in practice and how it's interpreted by British courts. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy, who attended the meeting, says the definition of family life should not be stretched to prevent the removal of people with no right to remain in the country. And the Queen's recorded a radio broadcast with the racing commentator John Hunt and his daughter Amy, whose family were murdered at their home last summer. Camilla welcomed them to Clarence House last month, along with former Prime Minister Baroness Theresa May. Louise Hunt, her sister Hannah and their mother Carol were killed by Kyle Clifford, Louise's ex-partner, in Hertfordshire last July. And the announcement coincides with the final day of the UN's 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Those are your headlines. Now it's back to Patrick.
Welcome along to Late Edition. Let's give you Thursday's newspaper front pages, starting with the Telegraph. Falkland arms ban must end, says Millet. So, yeah, we're going to get you the detail on that. But Argentina definitely do still want the Falkland Islands, and they also really do want state-of-the-art weapons. So you do the maths. Also, David Lammy is planning to wipe children's criminal records. So that's good. The Metro, dump Trump memes or risk getting the boot. Defensive trawl for World Cup fans. President Donald Trump appears to be saying that they're going to analyse the social media of people entering America for the World Cup. The Daily Express, they say they cannot be trusted with Brexit, and that is a story about how apparently Rachel Reeves has said that she wants to rejoin the customs union. The iPaper, UK set to turn back the clock on Brexit and rejoin EU student exchange scheme from January 2027. So two Brexit-based stories there, Brexit betrayal stories, some would say. The Mirror, Labour housing pledge, £3.5 billion war on homelessness. Again, unpacking the detail on that will be quite interesting, given that Labour have just decriminalised rough sleeping, so it kind of allowed more homelessness, then found £3.5 billion to solve the problem, so great for us all. The Times, net zero plans to cost households £500 a year. So it's another story about Ed Miliband raising your bills, but of course he won't mind, because he's a millionaire. The Guardian, visitors to US could have to reveal 5 years of social media activity. The Independent revealed Britain's racist system of scrapping citizenship. Racist system of scrapping citizenship? Quite difficult to say that. Anyway, it turns out that it's basically because we deny people like Shamima Begum their citizenship, and she is not white, and that makes us racist if you ignore all the ISIS stuff. The Daily Mail, stop Labour's grotesque puberty drug experiments on children. The Sun, Davina weds in secret. It's Davina McCall. She's got married for the 3rd time. And apparently, yes, you guessed it, she did it secretly, although it has found its way onto the front of the Sun. So, right, let's get stuck in with the panel. Let's deal with the Daily Telegraph's front page first. Giving the Argentinians, let me just check this, yes, state-of-the-art military technology. Can we just explain to people, Mark, so since the Falklands, the Argentinians were banned from having certain weapons, were they?
Yeah, yes, indeed. And therefore, no UK company like British Aerospace could sell them anything, I think, not even a pea shooter, right? What Millet is now arguing for is that our relationship is on a much, much better footing. I've got to say I'm a big fan of Javier Millet. I don't take their claims to the Falkland Islands that seriously. It's more performative than real. I don't think he's likely to start a war. So I guess the question, and it is a balanced question, do we now see Argentina as potential allies rather than endless foes over the Falklands dispute? But I think you raise a fair point, Patrick. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be an irony, it would be a tragedy, wouldn't it, if we sold them the necessary weaponry for them to re-invade Port Stanley. There would be much egg on many faces. So approach with caution, but I'm glad he's coming over to the UK, Millet. I think we've got quite a lot to learn from him, actually, in Britain.
It's got one way of doing diplomacy, isn't it? Because, like, do you remember when we were told that there'll be absolutely no reparations, don't worry, we're not going to do reparations, and then a Caribbean reparation delegation just arrived in Britain and had meetings in Downing Street. I feel like this is like, if you give us the weapons, we'll promise we won't invade. We promise.
But it's not even like there is a promise. I think you're being way too calm on this. I'm sat here expecting War Watch will go live as soon as war breaks out. This feels quite a tense thing, because the least they could do is stop the performative thing. You say it's performative, fair enough. Maybe stop doing that if you want to buy arms from us. In the same way that if I want to buy stuff from Tesco, what I don't do is say, I'm probably going to bomb you. It's just performative. No, you've got to play the ball.
Did you say bomb?
Bomb, yeah.
Right, good. Okay.
What do you think I was going to do?
No, I thought you said something else.
Your mind, sir. No, I think the reason they want it is because they can't buy any weapons that have any parts that have been manufactured here, and that's effectively all good stuff. And so that's, I mean, in a sense, if we've built kill switches into it, that's what we should be doing. If we're selling high-tech arms, let's get ahead of the ball on this, sell all the good stuff with kill switches, and we could rule the world.
This could be a Hamas pager situation where actually we get Argentina. Hey.
War Watch, literally, is what we're doing right now.
The thing is, this is purely transactional, I feel. I think it's a financial setup. I don't think it's political at all. I think we just, oh, God, here's somebody who wants to buy our stuff, give us money, and we'll give you it. I don't think there's anything more to it than that.
Well, the politics, Nina, is, would you not say that Javier Milei is the most pro-Western Argentinian president in 100 years?
Yeah, but what comes next?
But exactly. I mean, but really, when you look at him, I mean, has anybody been to Argentina?
I'd like to go to Argentina.
I went.
Nice.
At Freddie Mercury's invitation.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
No, I'm much more interested in this. Sorry, I've just checked, because you did drop a name down here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I knew I dropped it from... No,
but it's a good one. So
I dropped from great
I'm more interested in this than anything else now. So what happened with Freddie Mercury in Argentina?
Because Queen were playing the big stadium there, and they took a bunch of press across, and Freddie asked me personally, and we were there for 4 or 5 days. They went up to the Rio Carnival after that.
That sounds wild.
It was absolutely wild. The Argentinians were so excited that Queen were there that when the plane landed, they shut off all the announcements in the terminal and just played Queen music. So people must have been missing their flights all over the place. We were escorted to our hotel with motorcycle outriders and big trucks with guns sticking out of them. It was quite sort of...
Do you think possibly you didn't have the most representative sample of what life was actually like?
No, not at all. And the thing is that, you know, they'd never had anybody on their football pitches. So they had to cover them and then put the stage in the middle. And there was the Argentinian flag on one side and the Union Jack on the other. And that was actually that was before the Falklands, because that was 1981. So there we are.
OK, and they were armed then?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes. Very
that was
armed.
under the military junta then?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. OK.
Sorry to disrupt proceedings.
No, it's all right, actually. Anyway, so Mr Milei insisted that the Falkland Islands would be returned to Argentina through diplomatic means, a departure from his more hardline predecessors. He said, since I consider that the solution is to be sought through peaceful and diplomatic solutions, I think that the best way to show the willingness on the part of Argentina is to show that we also have a commercially adult relationship. So it's like... To arm them.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like it's such a bizarre story.
Las Malvinas, I mean, that's what they call them, exactly. And wasn't it true that they said if you gave every Falkland Islander £1 million to leave, you know, that would have been much cheaper than if we'd had the war?
Yeah, but that's not really how it works.
No, but that was just a suggestion at the time.
But they didn't want to leave, did they?
No, I can't think why they would want to stay. It's a godforsaken place and it smells of fish.
And in a referendum, 99% of them, 99% voted to stay in the United Kingdom. I mean, this wasn't a 52-48 Remain versus Leave thing.
No.
99. I think only 2 or 3 people voted not to stay in the UK.
They'd heard tell of this £1 million rubbish. They were going, oh, wait a minute, let's just in case I might get myself a mill.
I like the way that even on the Falklands they've got someone who resembles James O'Brien. You know, who's just there. No, we should be Argentinian. Right, let's just look at the sidebar of the Daily Telegraph here. Lammy plans to wipe child criminal records. Childhood criminal records for thousands of people will be wiped under plans considered by David Lammy. He will review the current system in order to prevent people's childhood convictions from blighting their future job prospects. I suppose, Mark, it's one way to get the unemployment figures sorted.
Well, maybe, but I mean, isn't the point of a criminal record that it blights your future prospects, right? That's the intention. But, you know, if you've got two people going for a job and they both seem to be equally competent at the job, but one of them, you know, has been involved in quite a few armed robberies, you might go for the other one, right?
Yeah.
So it seems to me that it's sort of... Now, I mean, I think there should be a mechanism where very trivial convictions can be wiped. You know, if you was scrumping apples age 9, I wouldn't want that to prevent you having a great career. But, you know, potentially included here, speculative, but potentially included here is drug dealing, harassment, fighting in the street. I mean, these are things that should stay on your record, I think.
Well, even, you know, the thing is, if you'd got a sentence aged 15, you know, by the time you're 50, say, and you're applying for a job, surely you would have served that sentence in only years, and it shouldn't be on your record when you're 50 or 60,
Why?
surely. No, if you were fighting in the street when you were 15 and you go for a job when you're 60, they said, oh, no, we can't employ you.
I mean, isn't it up to the employer to make a judgment about that? To say, and the person to explain, well, yeah, I can see you had a bit of a troubled teenage years. Tell me about your law-abiding life since then. But, I mean, it seems to me it's a relevant consideration. And obviously, if it's something unbelievably trivial, you know, I got done for apple scrumping when I was 8, it's unlikely that's going to act as a barrier to, you know,
I can't imagine it's going to be, you know, something like child, you know, murder or something.
Well, drug dealing is one of the suggested things that will now be wiped from your record.
Apparently, and I don't quite know why they've crowbarred this in, but there must be a reason for it, but racially harassing a bus driver.
Specific, isn't it?
Very weird. Do you think the person who wrote this report...
Which route?
Which one?
The number 8. I mean...
What do we know about this Home Affairs editor at the time?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, like... So, by the way, don't sue us, Chris Harvey, because we are joking, but I can't help but wonder... Was he done for racially abusing a bus driver years ago? And he's like, yeah, you know, some less serious crimes, like racially abusing a bus driver.
That's got to be wiped.
Get it gone. Get it gone.
It does feel like David Lammy should be busy doing other stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's got a busy enough in tray, what with trying to end fair trials and all that, that it seems odd that this ends up being another thing.
But the one thing that we're clear must not be wiped from the record and must be a barrier to a job application for high office is alleged hurty words that Nigel Farage said aged 15. But that's got to stay on the record.
He never said it to a bus driver.
That's right. It wasn't a bus driver. He should have picked on a bus driver if he was going to say hurty words.
And I believe he was 17, 18, not 15. That's a different thing.
But you would agree that would be the sort of thing that should be scrubbed?
Actually, yes. But on the other hand, it's good to know.
Well,
that's exactly the point.
That's right. Which is it?
Yeah, it wants to know it and then can make a decision based on it.
But then the interesting thing is they don't say at what age it's swiped from your records, because it could be age 30, it could be age 40, or it could be, you know... There's no point in giving a sentence to somebody and then a month later, because they're 15, scrubbing it from their records.
I mean, it's not saying Nigel Farage has never been arrested, charged or convicted of anything, right? Nevertheless, we're told that these rumours about him, which he denies, are a sufficient reason for him not to have high office. There's no criminal conviction here for anything. There's no bus driver involved.
No, but it goes to character,
gossip.
doesn't it?
It's just gossip about
it.
It
goes to character.
Right, but well, so does a criminal record.
I mean, Starmer did go to a Czechoslovakian communist camp for a holiday. Yeah. I mean, that's also...
That's not illegal.
It was very weird, though, isn't it?
So bulletins has changed since that.
Yeah, but it's not stuff like, oh, that's all right. Do you remember that time when he went to a Czechoslovakian communist camp for a jolly? That's all right. But, you know, some of the stuff that Farage was joking about allegedly at school, that's not all right. I find that a bit weird.
No, because going to a communist, God forbid, a communist camp, or a holiday camp, or, you know, student camp, or whatever they are...
Communist camp.
It's not... Well, communist camp, whatever. It's not the same as actually... racially abusing somebody. It is going to, you know, saying, OK, I'm flirting with that political end of the spectrum. I believe in...
I want to learn how to set up a gulag.
Or whatever, yes. No, I believe in, you know, in equality for everyone. Let's see how this works. To be fair to him, he didn't go back again, did he? He's not a member of the Communist Party.
I suppose you could say, to be fair to Nigel Farage, he's really given up all the anti-Semitism. So, you know, it's the same argument you'd make.
Well,
raise some eyebrows there, that could get you in trouble.
Well, the thing is, all the evidence that came out, alleged evidence that came out, there were quite a lot. There was not just the people whom he had allegedly racially abused, made horrible hissing noises if they were Jewish. There was a teacher as well. There's quite a lot of, evidence there.
All right, OK. Well, there you go. And Archibald obviously denies everything. But crucially, we can agree that I think under David Lammy's new plans, had Nigel Farage actually been criminally charged, then I think he would now wipe it. So there we go. Right, lots on the agenda. Ploughing ahead with a bit of this.
Wild promises were made to the British people and not fulfilled. We're still dealing with the consequences today.
Two national newspapers lead with a variety, a cacophony of Brexit betrayals. The Daily Express, they cannot be trusted with Brexit. Apparently, Rachel Reeves hints at joining the EU customs union. Meanwhile, we are just returning back to the EU student exchange scheme from January 2027. It's almost like we never left at all, isn't it?
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Yeah, just have a look at Tom Stoppard.
Yeah, this is terribly sad. It is the end of a kind of literary era. 6 decades-long career that Sir Tom had. My parents hung out with him in the 60s and 70s. My mum has wonderful stories. Gorgeous man, but also a real flirt in a lovely way, in a gentlemanly way. And Mum was telling me last night about a very gorgeous little pink suit that she was wearing that he appreciated, let us say, very much. And what a lovely man who's died at the age of 88. But yeah, I mean, not only a playwright, but also a screenwriter. He wrote the screenplay for Shakespeare in Love, which is something that...
what he won the Oscar for?
Yes, he won a Golden Globe and an Academy Award, and so many other kind of literary accolades in his career. He was really proud of his Czech heritage, wasn't he? And found out lots and lots about his Jewish root, but also very British as well. I think he balanced that.
Basically, he became the master of the second language.
Yeah.
Because he didn't speak English until he came to Britain.
At around, I think he was age 9, so it's quite late to...
So he became an absolute master of English, which wasn't his native, his real language.
And people say, what should you see? What should you read? Because I think you should read Tom Stoppard as well as seeing him on the stage. And there's travesties, and there's jumpers, and there's Arcadia. I would recommend Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, which is so clever. And what you're saying about language there and words, that was the genius, really, of Tom Stoppard. There's one quote I wanted to read you. Be happy. If you're not even happy, what's so good about surviving? And he's so good about life and about mortality and about the fact that life is going in one direction for all of us. Same direction. Time is the only measure. He's brilliant on that. And he's kind of very intellectual, but also really accessible.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back. Let's with you through Thursday's front pages. There's 2 Brexit betrayal stories on there. The Daily Express have gone for they cannot be trusted with Brexit. Apparently, Rachel Reeves now wants to rejoin the customs union. The iPaper go with UK set to turn back the clock on Brexit and rejoin EU student exchange scheme from January 2027. Let's deal with the Daily Express first. Mark, it says here anyway that Rachel Reeves has become the latest cabinet minister to hint at joining an EU customs union.
Yes, I mean, it's maddening, isn't it? I mean, I suppose, you know, we're always going to debate and disagree about and fight over what the UK's relationship should be with the European mainland, constitutionally, economically, and all the rest of it. But in essence, the EU has two things, and you can love them or loathe them. It's a customs union, which is a common protectionist barrier against trade with the rest of the world. So we all agree that the tariff on pineapples from wherever will be the same whether they get into the EU, and the other is the single market, which means that there's a common regulatory framework right across that block. Those are if you like those things, you may as well be an EU member. You'll get a seat round the table, you might be able to influence it a bit. If you don't like those things, get out of them altogether. This is potentially the worst of all worlds, that we rejoin the customs union. Potentially, they haven't mentioned it yet, the next stage would be the single market. So you get all of the tariff barriers imposed by the EU, all of the regulations imposed by the EU, and no seat round the table. Easily the worst of both worlds. If you really want the customs union, if you really want the single market, then you have to persuade the UK to rejoin the EU as on whole. But they're not doing that, they're doing it sneakily.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost getting close in terms of alignment because we want to sell there, so the regulation seems less threatening. We could sit down and have a discussion about whether the idea of the custom union would have some economic benefit, and I would have agreed with you more before I heard that Rachel Reeves thought it was a good idea, because she's not batting great at the moment. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the ideas, I want a budget for growth, so let's put national insurance on the employers. Wow, you know, it didn't take more than about another paragraph. AI could work out that that's not going to work for you. Whereas it's very interesting to separate that from the other story, because this, I think we should maybe be worried. Newspapers talking about they might get students back in the EU scheme. That was never the issue. I never saw anyone in a pub going, I'll tell you what bothers me, I'll tell you the reason I'm voting Brexit. Those students having their learning abroad, no one cares about that. So the newspapers should just absolutely separate those two out.
Yeah, and you know, who could object to young people getting a chance to broaden their horizons and learn something else and you know, make contacts and earn money eventually, be more just, you know, fluent and capable. More employable.
And if you don't like students, it makes them go abroad. So it's win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I mean, that side of it, I just don't understand why we can't be doing that anyway. But a deal to go back into the Erasmus programme is possible before Christmas. Sources tell the iPaper Brexit reset plan for universities would let young people in the UK and the EU study abroad for up to a year. Apparently, it's seeing increasing optimism about this. The EU has quietly created a loophole that would allow for British universities to apply in the new year.
But, well, I mean, again, why do we need all these elaborate schemes, right? I mean, I wouldn't stand in the way of, you know, foreign students coming here for a year. You've got to make sure it's strictly policed. You've got to make sure they're paying their way. You've got to make sure they don't bring 8 members of their family with them and then disappear into the black market. Seems to me these things can be done unilaterally.
Yes,
right?
but
if I was running a German
be. university,
I'd presumably want to attract some British students, some American students.
Yes, but Brexit stopped that.
Well, why?
That was an idiotic thing.
But why
because it was Brexit.
The Germans can, the EU can choose to let in British students if they wish to.
No, but that was one of the conditions of Brexit, wasn't it? That scheme
we've got to stay in the EU to allow a student to go to the Sorbonne. It's ridiculous.
I don't think it's right that no British student has studied at a European university since Brexit.
No, I'm sure they have.
My university was full of Chinese people who remarkably got great grades despite not being able to speak a word of English. That was absolutely fascinating to watch that unfold in real
Do they
time.
have all your details, by the way?
Probably, yes.
Oh dear,
you're one of those arts courses where everyone can get a good grade on that.
I did politics, you must know. I did politics when I turned up, and it was remarkable. You'd be in seminars, and they go, "You're paired up today with," you know, and you pick like, well, you don't pick, they pick like 3 pupils, and it would just be like a group of 3 Chinese people. And I'd sit down, and it would become immediately obvious that they just didn't speak a word of English.
Oh, yeah.
And then the grades had come back at the end, and it's like, oh, you've all got first, which is weird, because I know that you don't...
They've paid quite a lot of money.
And they sit in the same exam halls. I'm telling you, it was a racket.
Could they have been spies? What do you think?
Well, possibly.
So that's why I asked you if they've got your details.
Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe.
They were low-level spies if they were man-tagging you. Do you know?
Yeah, exactly. God,
No, they could obviously
powerful now.
They could see the potential.
Thank you. Well, it's a good job that somebody could. Anyway, but the customs union stuff, slightly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, would it be a monumental Brexit betrayal? I mean, I think by definition it would.
No.
But you can't then sign a trade deal with any other nation, basically, right? So if you want to negotiate separately with the Indians or the Americans, it takes all of that off the table because your tariffs are set by Brussels.
But the point is, the government has said, and Starmer has said, that we are not rejoining the customs union.
Right.
Maybe Rachel Reeves is...
David Lammy has said that we probably should.
It's a man with a track record of saying one thing and doing another, though, isn't it? It's slightly considered. And just quickly, sorry, can we bring up the front of the Independent?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Because it's got revealed Britain's racist system... Sorry, I can't say this phrase. Britain's racist system of stripping citizenship.
That's like a warm-up to what's been going on here, isn't it?
Yeah. Britain's racist system of stripping citizenship. Thank you.
Trips off the tongue.
Yeah, there we go. Right.
Seashells,
Yeah,
seashore.
exactly. Right, what's going on here? Who's read this?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a short piece on the front of the Independent, but there's an oddity here. The first thing I would say is the amount of data looks limited. We're comparing 200 Brits with a handful of French people. It's like one of those adverts. It's like one of those adverts for shampoo, and it then says in really tiny print at the bottom, 78% of 9 people agree with this survey, right? So it's the same sort of tiny sample size. So look, 200 Brits have had their citizenship revoked since 2010, and just a handful in France. I think it's 16 in France. And that apparently makes us more racist. But I don't think you can derive that from these numbers alone. I'd need to read the full report by the Runnymede Trust, because it might be the case that it's easier to become a British citizen than a French citizen, and therefore you've got more weeding out to do afterwards. If it's damn near impossible to become a citizen of France, you're probably not going to have to do much weeding out afterwards. That's got to be factored in, surely, and these numbers are just tiny.
We don't know if there were citizens who were actually born here. I mean, because Shamima Begum was born here, wasn't she?
She was. No, but that
wouldn't be racist.
That's because on that, can I just say, so it says that people of colour are 12 times more likely to lose the status or be tried to foreign camps. But weren't people of colour just more likely to have joined ISIS at that moment in time?
Well, it's not even that. I think it's more likely to have the another citizenship or the right to, and that's one of the things that we need to have as a nation to remove citizenship. Like, we can't remove citizenship from someone who has no other claims. You can't make someone stateless. So the only time you can do it is when they have another citizenship. So of course it's like you'd have to be blind to the way the numbers were to find this racist. Like, somehow this impacts people of foreign descent more than people who've been here for 1,000 years. I wonder why that could be. Because it's impossible to make someone who's got no other relatives other than some other Brit stateless.
That's actually a great point, because I would bet you, I don't have the numbers at hand, but I bet you there are many, many more people in Britain who are dual citizens than there are in France. Many, many more.
Yeah.
And therefore that makes that stripping legitimate, because you don't render them stateless, they still have the other citizenship to fall back on.
I wonder who these other more than 200 Britons are other than Shamima Begum, because I don't know of anybody else, because we've not been told.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, who are they and what are their circumstances?
Well, you're right, it's not easy because it's 200 people since 2010.
Yeah.
So it's been a big, it's been
So
barely...
something like 15 a year or something. Yeah.
We did have an astronomical number of people who left Britain to go and fight for ISIS, or more than, as a proportion, more than pretty much any other country. So, I mean, it would follow that maybe we had then done a bit more citizen stripping. But anyway, we'll see. Just, you mentioned the French there. Someone mentioned the French.
Yeah.
Mark did.
You mentioned the French. Should we mention them again?
Yeah,
on the front of the Times newspaper, earliest proof of humans making fire found in the UK. Mark, can you talk us through this and why it's important, and crucially why we've beaten the French?
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is we beat the French. So, until yesterday, we assumed that it was about 50,000 years ago that fire was discovered, invented. We could create fire and that was in a Neanderthal site in France 50 years ago. And of course, once you can create fire, it unlocks a whole load of things. You know, you can keep yourself warm, so health should improve. You can cook food, and all of that sort of stuff helps brain development. So it should help the human race as a whole. Anyway, we've just discovered this archaeologist just discovered, actually from a site in Suffolk, an abandoned clay pit, there's now evidence that we were there 400,000 years ago.
No.
So we haven't narrowly beaten the French, right? It's not like a screenshot at the end of a running race. We've beaten them by 350,000 years.
Of that.
Now, the bit that kind of worries me about this is that presumably means, if all of this stacks up, and I dare say it does, the human race has been really much slower to develop than we thought, because we thought we've only had 50,000 years of fire. Turns out we've had 400,000 years of fire. Talk about low GDP growth. I mean,
we've never been great for productivity, have we? That's
poor productivity.
The presumption that cooked food helps brain development. Greg Wallace? Do you know what I'm saying? We need to look at that. But we're all claiming this as well, whereas it's the Neanderthals that did it. We're sitting around as Homo sapiens going, we're an entirely different species.
But the other thing is, isn't it extraordinary with the channel, with boats coming this way now, that fire technique did not transfer to the French.
Oh, but it probably did. It probably did. It's just we haven't.
And thousands of years.
Probably did, Nina. It's just we haven't yet found a site early enough, right? So it's just the earliest site that we have found where we could show that fire had been used was 50,000 years. Maybe the French will come back and say, look, we found one from 500,000 years ago, right? This could be a bit of a race.
All the sites that had fire have now burnt down. That's
Also, somewhere in France, there's a bloke who's got the Neanderthal Fire Experience Museum. Just desperately shredding copies of the Times.
Coming to Suffolk soon.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so we've got a lot more coming your way, including a bit of this.
Putting wind all over Scotland, all over the most beautiful fields in the world, Scotland.
So President Trump tries his best Scottish accent as he laments the windmills in the country, which actually is linked to a front page because Ed Miliband's Times, thank you very much. Ed Miliband's net zero plans are going to cost households £500 a year, plus...
We want safety, we want security, we want to make sure we're not letting the wrong people come into our country.
Well, if you want to go to America, apparently they are going to search 5 years' worth of social media posts. I'm going to tell you why I think that's actually quite a good idea next.
Hello again and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Fine for many of us for the next 24 hours or so. Less windy than it has been through the week so far, but there is another weather system on its way. It's going to bring rain to western parts later in the day on Thursday. It's slow moving though, so it'll take some time to reach eastern areas. Initially, we do have some rain for central and northern Scotland. That's going to ease through the evening along with the winds, so eventually it's all calming down a touch, and the lightest winds will be towards the southeast. That's where the clearest spells will be, so temperatures dipping here to 5-6 Celsius in places. Elsewhere, thicker cloud remaining, and in fact the cloud tends to thicken. The breeze picks up once again in the west during Thursday morning. We'll see some outbreaks of light rain into the Western Isles, as well as some patches of cloud elsewhere across Scotland, but a decent chance of sunny spells emerging through the Highlands into the Central Belt, the southern uplands. Eastern parts of Northern Ireland, a bright start, thicker cloud towards the west, and it's a similar story for much of England and Wales, always cloudier towards the west, but aside from a few mist patches, some decent sunshine through the Midlands, East Anglia and the southeast during the morning. It won't last because we've got another area of cloud making its way from the Channel northwards into southern counties of England. Best chance of keeping the sunny skies, East Midlands, eastern parts of England, for example, and feeling pleasant enough with another mild day expected, 12 or 13 Celsius, and a southerly breeze. That breeze will pick up in the west with outbreaks of rain moving into western parts as we end Thursday afternoon. The weather front responsible, though, slow moving across the country, and it's only going to be Friday lunchtime, early afternoon before it clears the southeast. Sunnier skies returning elsewhere for the rest of Friday, but also with some showers. Saturday starts fine, but unsettled weather returns later.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
OK, welcome back to Late Edition. Let's bring up the front of the Times, because they say that net zero plan to cost households £500 a year. This is Ed Miliband's plans to get Britain to net zero by 2050 risk costing the country 350 billion quid more than a slower approach to reducing carbon emissions. So that's great, isn't it? Well, actually, it just got me thinking, someone who obviously won't like the idea of more windmills, especially in Scotland, is this guy.
Putting wind all over Scotland, all over beautiful, the most beautiful fields in the world, Scotland. All over beautiful. Oh, we have some Scottish people here. Where the hell did you come from? We have Scottish people. But they're putting wind all over Scotland.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? I mean, they are putting wind turbines all over Scotland, and it's gonna raise our bills, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he thinks calling them windmills is the best way to insult them, because don't windmills sound lovely in comparison to the things you actually see when you're driving down the M1, and all of a sudden it's like War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
These alien things coming at you. I can't believe that it's costing more. I go on about this every time we talk about this. Balanced Science GCSE, we were promised what renewables were. They were cheap. They should be cheap. Yeah, you've got to spend a little bit to get them up and running, and that should have happened by now. And then we should get our bills down. It promised getting our bills down by 300 quid. Now, I don't want to go through the maths here, but 500 quid more is more than 300 quid less. By about 800 quid. Just Carol Vorderman in this a little bit. It's ridiculous. The best way to do this is to, of course, you've got to slow down. You can't do it at breakneck speed. We don't have the infrastructure. Slap up all the wind farms that you want. Then we don't have the infrastructure to transport that energy around. So you end up paying the person who owns the farm to just not making any electricity from it. So that costs us more. It's ridiculous because it's so obvious. Slow down, make it cheaper, and then we'd all love it.
Yeah, well, it was earlier today at Prime Minister's Questions that Kemi Badenoch kind of went after Sir Keir Starmer about bringing your energy bills down, and Sir Keir Starmer kind of proudly said, well, we're bringing them down by £150, and she just told him immediately that's not true. They've gone up by 187 quid,
Yeah.
And now it's going to go up more.
Yeah, I mean, the bit that infuriates me about this is if all of these claims for windmills, solar panels, God only knows what else are true, just leave it to the market. You can leave it to investors to say, I really believe that this new technology is going to deliver really cheap electricity. I'm going to invest in it, and then I will get my rates of return down the line. Why do you need Ed Miliband fixing the whole thing?
Well,
just let inventors find good, cheap ways of providing energy.
Nina?
I agree. I mean, it's like, you know, everybody should have an electric car. No, let's go halfway. Let's have a hybrid if we're going that far, you know. Or let's wait till there's an electric car that isn't so bloody heavy and digs up our roads. You know, that's something else. So, no, I saw Ed Miliband, by the way, last week.
In Argentina, on tour.
No.
Packs out the stadium.
Nothing posh. Charing Cross tube station. He didn't have any security with him, didn't appear to have.
He looked... Well, no, you've doxed.
He should have. He looked very, very wealthy. He looked very groomed, very expensive suit, tanned.
Well, he's rich.
Well, of course, he looked very rich.
And he is.
Because I thought, oh gosh, look at that suit going through the turnstile.
But the bit what we've got to grasp here, I make this point over and over again. If you want net zero, it is expensive. Now, we can argue about whether we want net zero or not, but if you want it, and the earlier you want it, the more expensive it will be. There is just a straight trade-off here. And this idea that we can get to net zero and everything will be magically cheaper by the time we've done so is just simply wrong. Getting there
and
is
heat
pricey.
Heat pumps. Why are heat pumps so expensive here? I mean, in Scandinavia, they cost about £2,000. Here, they cost about 12 grand. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating. I don't have the exact figures, but it is something as ridiculous as that.
Can we bring up the front of the Sun? Because there's a story here about Simon Cowell. Wacky world of Cowell. I take 4 baths a day. I have 200 of the same shirt, and his pants don't get worn twice. Mark, how many baths a day do you have?
Usually 2 a day. Two baths a day. So I don't go the full cowl here. I only go the half cowl. He has 200 of the same T-shirt. I have more than 100 Southampton FC shirts. Not identical, but they are all Southampton FC shirts. But I can confirm that I do, generally speaking, wear my pants more than twice. And he says he does not wear his pants twice.
Do you not think 2 baths a day is odd? How do you have the time for that?
It's me time. It's me. It's my mental health time. It's my mental health time, Patrick.
A lot of Yankee candles everywhere. Like yourself, little eye mask on.
Yeah, you know how kind of woken yogi I am, don't you? Yeah.
All right. Is this normal? Maybe I'm really out of touch here.
No, it's not normal. It's not normal.
I mean,
especially if you want to keep your energy bills down, it's not normal. 2 piping hot baths a day is not.
I have 1 bath a day, which is fine for me. And you guys shower, I see.
I shower.
Yeah.
But I do tend to shower. Yeah, well, we have to. What? But no, I shower twice a day normally.
Oh, you shower twice a day?
1 in the morning, 1 before bed.
All right,
And that
okay.
takes, say, 5 minutes each time, something like that.
Max.
Yeah. So my baths will be half an hour a pop.
Yeah, but
see, it's a completely different experience because you're relaxing. There's the whole Archimedes thing might strike you. You might come up with something, you know.
Oh, I see.
It's already been done now.
Archimedes part 2.
I notice it each time, but I've never made any money out of it.
But I was not wearing the pants twice. What basketball player never wears a pair of trainers more than twice?
Is that right?
There's a basketball player who just has pants are quite cheap compared with trainers, aren't they?
Yeah.
He wears them once.
I think you never really get to wear them in and get rid of the blisters. I'm talking about the shoes, not the pants. If you have to wear those in.
What kind of pants are you wearing?
I'm being told that this actually is nowhere near as good a television as we think it is, and we're going to have to move on. So we've got a bit of this coming up.
Deal for doctors, and it offers us the chance to end strikes before Christmas and start the new year on a new page.
All right, so Wes Streety's come up with a novel solution to averting a doctor's strike, which is to give them more of what they want. So cheers, Wes. That's next.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Heavy thundery downpours will continue to affect Cyprus as we go through tomorrow and into Friday, but this unsettled weather, it is going to ease as we head into the weekend. And actually, across many other parts around the Mediterranean, it's looking largely fine. Some decent sunshine to be had as well. Slightly different story, though, across much of Spain. A few outbreaks of rain around, and there is a band of rain sweeping in from the west, so that's going to turn things a bit wetter across Portugal and western Spain as we head towards the end of the week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the
unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Welcome back to Late Edition. Right, we've not got long left, so let's just rattle through a couple of the front pages again. We've got West Streeting, yeah, I'm a bit bored of this doctor stuff, actually, sorry. He's basically said that he's going to give them concessions, like he's going to pay for their exams and make sure that there aren't as many foreign doctors taking their jobs. So there's that. President Trump wants to go through your tweets. I think that's quite a good one, isn't it? If you want to go to America to watch the World Cup, Nina?
I had to
sure you do. Pretty much.
I think that'll be a miracle.
Yeah.
I had to apply for an ESTA because we went to New York in May to get on the Queen Mary 2, and they asked about social media. I had to fill in. You know, one of the new questions they ask is what social media platforms are you on?
Are you or have you ever been a blue tick on social media? Is that what I asked?
No, I don't know. They just asked, you know, which social media.
But what they're looking for here, I think. So I think and hope that Metro's got this wrong. It says you could be kicked straight back out if you were travelling over for the World Cup if anti-Trump memes are discovered.
Yep.
I suggest.
That's it.
No, I would think the test is likely to be a lot stricter than that. If you've said something like, I wish the guy who shot at him in Philadelphia got him between the eyes rather than in the ear.
Yeah.
You might think that person is not conducive to the public good in America, having wished the president to be assassinated, and you might use that as a reason to block that person entering the country. That doesn't necessarily strike me as completely unreasonable. Obviously, if you just said, I'm upset that Kamala Harris lost the election to Donald Trump, I don't think that would be enough to block you from entering the country.
What if you called him the orange one?
Yeah, that wouldn't be enough to block me from the country. I mean,
well, either way, I've been running several online accounts under false identities for years, so I'll just flip to one of those. It seems dubious, but that's what Andy Dufresne does in The Shawshank Redemption, effectively. So, I'm inspired by the greats.
Yeah, I think that's a really solid plan, isn't it? Yeah. Just keep flipping your social media account.
I mean, I don't really know how they're going to... It does strike me as pretty absurd they're going to police this. And looking into some of the details, there's also you've got to list every email address you've had access to for the last 10 years. Well, really? I mean...
Well, I can't get into half of them. Every single time I need to log on to something, and it goes, what's your email address and what's your password? It appears that in my sleep I've changed all my passwords. I can't get into my own, so good luck.
Yeah. Good luck to the FBI when they try to.
I'd be grateful. I'd say thank you.
Thank the FBI.
America. Tell me how to get into this email account, please. It'd be nice, but yeah, anyway. And very quickly, we've got less than a minute, but you want to point out that there's some horrific lies about Strickland.
Well, it's not a lie. lie, but it's just misleading. There's Tessa's tears at last tango in relation to Strictly, because the pair of them are moving on. Yeah, but in the Mirror, tears as Tess and Claudia bow out on last Strictly show. They filmed the Christmas show yesterday, so that's why they've got that. It's not the last show until December the 20th, which is the final, where those of us who are Uber fans dress up in sparkly frocks and have a martini in hand and watch it.
Mainstream media lying to you again. That's what you're saying.
It's a Daily Express, that's it, you know.
I've got a quick line on Claudia. There was a thing in the news that she was at the launch of this flying taxi that's meant to be built in Britain, is going to be flying in 2028 is when it should be usable. I just think, I hope she didn't fly it, because the one person you should get to fly it is someone whose fringe isn't right there. The worst person for this job.
Where are we going? Don't know. Anyway, right, OK, thank you very much. Really enjoyed tonight. Let's give you a quick round-up of the papers. The Telegraph. Falklands arms ban must end, so Lammy's also thinking of wiping child criminals' records. The Metro, dump Trump memes or risk getting the boot. The Express, they cannot be trusted with Brexit, whiffs of rejoining a customs union. The I paper, apparently we're also going to be rejoining the student exchange scheme with the EU. The Mirror, Labour housing pledge. We didn't have time to talk about this tonight, but £3.5 billion war on homelessness. Again, had they not decriminalised homelessness, they maybe not have to pay for it. The Times, net zero plans to cost households £500 a year. The Guardian, visitors to the US will have to reveal 5 years of social media activity. The Independent revealed Britain's racist system of stripping... Oh, no, I didn't get it again. Britain's racist system of stripping citizenship. It's the hardest thing to say. Daily Mail, stop Labour's grotesque puberty drug experiment on children. And The Sun, Davina McCall weds in secret. Right, thank you very much. It is over stateside now for the wonderful Bev Turner of The Late Show Live.
Thank you, Patrick. Well, here in America tonight, the American administration have seized a Venezuelan boat full of oil. We'll be discussing what that might mean. You've seen Sharon Davies on the front page of the Telegraph there. I'm so delighted for her. Baroness, what is she going to be? I spoke to Sharon earlier today. We're going to play you that interview for her reaction for that well-deserved gong. Don't go anywhere.
We want to make the new year your best year yet, with a chance to win our greatest cash prize to date. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours. Treat the family to that bucket list holiday you've always fancied. Get your dream car you've always wanted. Or just relax, safe in the knowledge that the coming year is on us. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on